In this video, we're going to talk about some of the navigation functions within the VMX Web Console, specifically how we go about grouping views and the effects of that, and looking at some of the links between views and how to embed external iframes into our layout. We're going to go straight to the tool for this demonstration. So in this perspective, I've set up two charts which are showing data over time, plus an alert list on the right hand side here. All these views are currently marked as independent, so any changes in one will not affect the others. But it might be desirable, especially during an analysis exercise, to have the views update over time in a similar or the same way. To do this, we can group views together. So if I add both the charts to group 1, for example, by selecting the group button here, when I go about changing the time window in which the charts are plotting over, you can see both update. This extends to as far as zooming. Therefore, the time windows of the charts, as you can see by the axes, are aligned. This makes it quick and easy to identify things happening at the same point in time over different systems. As you can see, there are some alerts on this chart, and since we've grouped the alert view with the charting, so that when we zoom in, we get the same time window for the alert view. We can achieve the same with item traces. So if I create a new item trace view on the tab, and then I link it in to the same group. What I'm also going to do is set this to automatic. This means as soon as an area is selected, the item trace will go away and calculate the items in that period. So if I do a zoom here, notice they're all in group 1. The item traces is calculated for that same period. So this graph, the alert list, and the item traces are all aligned for the same 10-minute window. I could be more specific again. So if I select a particular item in this list which I'm interested in, I can see it occurred at a particular time. And I can zoom in all the related views to a very specific time point, for example, the exact time that this item trace instance occurred. The data on the charts will go blank because we are talking about a nanosecond point in time and there's no available data within that for the charts. But if I zoom back out to 1 minute, it will now focus the charts 1 minute either side of that particular event. I can also do it within 1 hour or a 10-minute window. Whenever you select properties or items which show the properties, it will always try to derive these time windows for you. For example, there's a date available on this one, so it's created these macro zoom functions within the same, so that I'm zooming in 1 minute of the point I selected on the chart. The properties view also contains links to other interesting or related items. For example, if I select this chart and select a data set, you can see the items contributing to this cell that's driving this time series. Clicking on this will generate a brand new item trace with those items. I can achieve the same a little bit more directly inside our aggregator by right-clicking on one of the cells and selecting the item contributing to the cell. This will go find the items that are generating that moving average. Note it's created as a temp view. Temp views are destroyed at the point you close them rather than persisted with the workspace. Where there are other navigation options available from a view, you'll see the navigation symbol. Dropping that down will show you the other options you've got to move from this view to another view. Grouping works cross perspective. So if I create a new perspective here and I create a new chart and I put it in group 1, changes here will be shown in all group views across all other perspectives. So let's change this to a 6-minute rolling graph here. Go back to perspective 1 and you can see the same is true of all the group views present here as well. Finally, I want to show you can add your own embedded iframe content inside perspectives if you want. So if I go back to my new perspective and I create a new view, this time selecting an iframe, which I'll call latency calculation, which will be a perspective level view. This is a link to a Wikipedia page about latency calculations. If I save this, it will embed the frame inside the web console, which is saved with the layout. If I close this down, I could make this a layout level view, and then it will be available to every perspective.